not many people have complimented me on my fashion, which is stunning
I always get complimented on my fashion.
because the what I wear is so brilliant.
Well, see, waist down, all Zubas all the time. That's
Oh
what
yeah,
people
for
don't get to
sure,
see.
for sure. But not many people realize that hockey jerseys have a fashion element to them.
Oh, for sure. Well, and it's the original reverse retro,
It
but it was
is.
in the time.
It was. And we'll talk about the different phases that these things have gone through. But there's some jerseys out there that have existed for a reason, and we'll tell you why.
And they weren't worn on ice. Next, on Ugly Thirds.
Welcome back, sports fans, to another episode of Ugly Thirds. Today's topic is the Starter Fashion Jersey Series, a deep dive. Johnny Shrems, take it away.
We can't do all rankings all the time.
No.
So let's look a bit deeper into a topic. Fashion jersey. Like there's a lot of weird jerseys that people ask, "Hey, is this real? Did they ever wear?" No, they didn't. But there's a reason it exists. Now, do you think we should start by talking about the real examples, or should we go to what you want to talk about with the history of this since then? Like, this is not a lost concept.
No. But like you said, it's the original reverse retro, but it was done in the time period. So Starter made these jerseys mid '90s in order to make money, and they came out with something like this right here. At the time, Buffalo switched to the goat head, so Starter took what I'm wearing and the black version of this and said, "Hey, let's flip the script."
And I think all they did was simply change out which fabric was where. Like they just red spool goes here, black spool goes here, and
Boom.
and that was it. And it like instead of yeah, it worked. Well, so let us go to the next slide. This is gonna be a very slide heavy episode.
So we'll go forward and then go backwards. So after Starter releases this, and to not great fanfare, like these didn't go over very well. They became more popular after. Reebok, when they took over, they introduced three lines of fashion jerseys. The Accelerator, which you see up on the screen there. The next one, I believe, is the Black Ice, which has
Oof.
a little bit of pop of color to it. And the last one that we have is the Cross Check.
I don't think I've ever seen those.
So they all get lumped into this Accelerator series, but there are three different versions of their fashion line, and they flop. Like, and we've talked about this before. Hockey jerseys weren't as popular in the mid '90s to collect and buy like they are today. So these were there, largely forgotten about, and then now you find them in thrift stores and things like that.
Well, so all of those, like, and I in the couple I've seen, I'm like, are you trying to be a stealth fan? Like, you don't admit you're a fan. That's why it's
Right,
all black. Like,
right.
trying to
So
hide.
yeah, and the idea, and I imagine they wanted a cash grab. So let's do this fashion line thing, and those things sat online for years. And if I recall correctly, they were down to like $30, new with
Oof.
tags. Like it just didn't hit in an era where people are buying hockey jerseys more frequently than 20 years previous when Starter came out with this. They flopped. Like they flopped hard. And we haven't really seen it since then. They haven't. They
No,
haven't.
as far as
Did
I
not.
know.
Adidas did not venture down that road. But these things,
This is something else. And Phil, can we do the picture in picture? Can we walk through those and see if this will function? Certainly an experimental episode. So we've seen the cross check. Now let's go into the starter. So yeah, now all of these are from Liberty Bell Fashion Jerseys. They have a whole collection of these photos. They did a good job recording all of this. So credit where credit's due. Let's take a look at these good ideas, like this Sabres one. What should have been?
that would
Good
have
idea,
killer reverse retro.
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right, let's keep
100%.
going. A black Devils jersey.
It's,
Everyone wants this.
It seems dumb to think like they've never done this.
Like,
before.
what do you mean they've never done
First
this?
time.
They've never done this. Okay, keep going. A black Sharks jersey,
Which has been done,
but not like that. Look at the gray in the sleeves. Like that is
And the blue.
It's teal.
It's teal.
Sorry, teal.
Pacific teal. They took their exact jersey and just swapped out white for black, and look how good that looks.
It does look good.
Better than any of the black ones they've done. Next, Oh, isn't this the reverse right? Yes, yes, it is. Look at it. They did it. I really need to find one of those now, but I don't know that I ever could.
No.
I've never seen one.
I mean, but the thought process was there 25 years ago to do this. Like they had the idea of making sure that we keep that cash flow coming in, but wrong time, obviously.
Right.
Um,
Keep going. This would eventually exist. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
They swapped
totally.
out white for black, and yeah, why not? Brilliant. This slightly different. I mean, they took more like there's some liberties in this one because like it's not the three stripe. It's not like even the regular one has more stripes to it. There's some differences happening there, but it looks good.
Crest has a outline.
Crush,
that's
that
another one.
happened
Yeah,
at
yeah.
times. That's weird to find out which did win.
You're right.
This is not the same as the normal one. I've seen people selling this thing. It's a normal jersey. It's not. Black is the end of these.
And the color's different too.
Color is different too.
You look at these like that could pass for a third jersey.
Absolutely. Would be a solid reverse retro now.
They're not poorly designed. Like these are good ideas. Like
no, okay, now we're getting out in left field a bit, but you figure okay, the Nordiques, you figure the blueberry that came after this.
okay.
When you figure okay, an avalanche blue, now maybe the shoulders could be burgundy and not navy, but is that big of a stretch?
Not bad.
It's
Detroit's always the same.
well, this is what the reverse retro should have been. Again, we're stretching it, but it is the right colors.
Think where you are. Like had they shown up with if this comes out as reverse retro,
Everyone would have questioned.
it's gonna be fine.
It would have sold.
It's gonna
That's
be fine.
a Vancouver V style to it.
And kind of a little bit, yeah.
Well, I think you just associate that color and V patterns with, yeah. Look, I guess people swear this existed, and they never have.
No.
And there's a couple different versions
There's
of
a
black.
blue one of this too.
It's in this list.
This is where we're starting to get a little. But go back for a second. Now that I've noticed it, that shouldn't be a pro player. Like
You're right.
that should be a.
You're the only
starter
person who
jersey.
ever noticed.
100% does not have any reason for that to be a pro player jersey.
That's weird.
Yeah.
You might think, oh, isn't that the same? No, it's black, not eggplant, and it's
But
not
here
this
we are.
either. Look at that.
Here
Look at
we
that.
are.
With the exception of shoulders. Meh. Amazing.
Good ideas they come back to in the future. Like,
It's black, not blue.
and this one always goes for like $300.
Well-
I've seen these from time to time on Starter.
The Islanders, the fisherman jersey goes for ridiculous amounts regardless.
Sure.
Plus, it's a starter fashion jersey, so like it's out off the beaten path.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and then you get ones where it's like, okay, this is an idea, but is it a good idea? For instance,
for Pora Hempley, yikes.
if you want to, yeah. So, no, Phil.
No,
oh
you know
God!
what?
Now he's over there having a drink.
Yep. Yeah,
Now
calm down,
back to full screen. Okay, there we go. So this was from an era where the biggest secret was, did you know the Penguins used to wear blue? Like throwbacks weren't really a thing. They did it in '92, and that was about it.
Nobody understood.
Nobody knew, and so
Yeah.
to just swap out the white of that jersey with blue, I used to see this all the time at the arena. Like these were very popular, and I got this for a song because I think there's a lot of damage in this crest. If there's a way to fix it, we'll get it. But look. In an era where, why not? This is a reverse retro. Let's go to an era of blue and blue, but with the 90s.
Was this the right blue, though?
No, absolutely not.
So it's that lighter blue.
It's
a
a lighter
classic blue.
But it's retro fashion.
The hard thing is that you can, for example, reverse retro, you can make a website now and explain every reverse retro jersey. You can't with these. The internet doesn't exist at this point.
Right. There is no YouTube.
Nope.
So much harder to storytell. Phil, you want to? Okay, let's look through these dumb ideas. Not as good as the last one we saw that was somehow
No.
a pro player, but having it in a lot of contrast. If that was their first retro, people would have bought it. It's not great, but people would have bought it. It's black, and you can still see there's blue next to the red stripe. It's a bad idea. Again, not the same.
No.
Slight differences.
But it
Usually in
could
the ends,
pass for one.
it could
Like
pass,
that's the thing, man. Like you could.
right? It could
Who's
pass.
looking at these two in passing as you walk past someone in the arena, thinking like, oh yeah, there's that starter fashion jersey, or are
Well,
they thinking like, oh that's from the '90s? Like, oh, just you.
just me. A black version,
Swap that for navy blue, and you have their third for
right?
most of the
And
'90s and early 2000s.
while black is not a team color, people would buy that if you were really release that.
Sure,
It looks the same. There is a purple
that's the
stripe
purple. Caught my eye immediately.
that didn't exist on the real one, and I don't know what else is different there, but there's that.
Yeah.
I've also seen these with the wrong color numbers, the orange numbers,
Oh,
not
yeah.
accurate.
All right. Yeah.
Next, what's different about that?
The blue.
It's navy. They took this blue from the sleeves
Oh.
and flipped it, and it's not enough to make a real difference. So
No, not really.
should have done it with like the old colors, either any of the old colors. A black version. I like the light blue one better, considering the blueberry in Nordique's history. Black, there's no reason for
Yeah,
it. But
no.
black was a team color.
It seems like most of the ones on this list we've just opted for black fabric, and people are like, oh yeah, of course.
It's the
Or
90s.
make the logo pop for it.
Black for black's sake is what Paul Lucas called it on UniWatch. You'd think this would be good because it's a straight swap,
There's
but
no black.
there's no black in it, and well, does a Blasty horse really look as good in white as it did when it's
It
a nice
doesn't.
dark night? Like,
You know what? I'll give you that. Oh,
There's another
again.
version, like
There it is again.
gray.
There's the blue one.
No, that's gray.
That's gray.
That's gray.
Oh man.
Good Lord, why? I mean, you're basically like, let's find Detroit a second color, which is weird. They didn't do this with the Leafs at all, but you know.
What's tough though is these aren't documented anywhere.
No.
Like,
Other than that Liberty Bell jerseys,
Right,
and
right,
even
right.
then, that's not
And-
a
and-
comprehensive list.
yeah, and I'll trust that guy. He's one of the moderators on the subreddit. It's hard to know how many of these went out or what variations of these have gone out. Like you have to rely on the internet to kind of piecemeal this thing together.
And what's not on our list, we wouldn't even know.
Sure, there's
Everything,
probably more out there that we don't have.
everything on the internet's true, right?
That's how
More or
that
less.
works. All right, let's keep going. And then things got worse. So let's take a look at the real one. Phil, take us down.
That's the one that I'm thinking of. Boom.
it,
The cotton candy jersey.
it vibrates on screen. It's a very weird light blue. It's not the Penguins light blue. It's not the Nordiques light blue.
I understand.
Sky blue?
I can see something like this going over well today as like a limited release. So egregious.
Oh,
But,
it's
like,
so ugly. It's
get
good.
you get the right celebrity to hawk one of these.
Yeah.
And like people go nuts over it. It's just so far removed from what it actually should be.
Let's look at these worst
But
ideas.
there's
Yeah, that's
some
where
ideas up there.
that's where we've seen that blue. All right, let's keep going.
Ugh.
Phil had a visceral response on that. Teal and gray, the Flyers.
Of
Yes.
course.
Or baby blue. Let's put them in old Penguins colors.
Oh wow, cross state.
Egregious.
It's the mashup we didn't realize we wanted. Hey, they
It-
just swapped that.
That's a Thanksgiving
Panthers
color.
one.
It's technically a color from the sea on the shoulders.
Should it have been the primary?
Never. I mean, they threw in the gold there. Like, you think, oh, that's fine. But the longer you look at it, the more it's like, what is going on?
That's
A lot going on. Why not? I mean, it's that Winnipeg third, but modern Winnipeg third in
Yikes.
Chicago.
Yikes!
Why? Why would you do that?
Again, and why is it in a pro player?
That's a good question.
I'd
You got to
love-
look into that because you're the makers guy.
When the Stars blue and the state of Dallas is blue, like but it's not state of Texas. Sorry, it's blue, and Dallas is in blue. Like you can't even read it.
Yeah, it's so bad. Green and blue should not be seen without a color in between.
Ooh.
A black version with extra gold.
And a triangle. There's a triangle behind it too.
Yeah, because on the white one there was a triangle, so they took the white and
Oh.
should not happen. Should not exist. I've seen the most common of these. I think is this. I've seen a lot of these. I think people like the Liberty, and they're like, "Oh, this is different."
For sure.
And so these will show up on eBay, never for cheap, 300 plus. It's
No.
in black
No.
for the blues. It's in light blue
For the blues.
for the blues.
For the light blues.
You're like, well, what's wrong with that one? Why did they take out the copper stripe?
Well, copper's expensive, don't you know that?
Darn it,
Funniest
Phil!
thing you've ever said, Phil.
Next. Oh,
Yikes.
technically a color because the hockey sticks
Yikes.
should not be a thing.
Oh!
I don't know why that exists.
The Pittsburgh Flameguins.
This is very, very like Cold War, like penguins.
Russian
Penguins.
penguins.
Yeah, Russian
So
penguins.
Russian
Pittsburghery Flameguins.
So that's it on this episode. Have we taken you for long enough? This is insanity to look at all these fashion jerseys, the terrible, the not great ideas, and things that some of these should have happened.
Probably. Or
Right?
have happened in reverse
Or
retro
happened
format.
after. Like if there's another reverse retro, hey, there's some good precedent to look at. So, Shrems, I'm John. Phil, take us out of here.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and tune in for another episode of Ugly Thirds.
Longest episode ever.
Flameguins.